For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels post-game show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight-up hustle. We see you, but if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heedy Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield postgame show. I'm your host, Todd Fox, recovering yesterday from the blackout, the Transformer Blue. We lost all power, so yesterday's show was obviously cut in half. We got through most of it as far as explaining what happened in the game, so you at least had that to go by. But as far as the rest of it's concerned, this was a game today that the Angels lost in a pitiful way. That eighth inning, we'll talk about that. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the eighth inning. And if you haven't subscribed yet over to YouTube, we implore you to do so. That would help us out big time, or give a like, a subscribe, a share. Tell another Angel fan, because we are by the fans, for the fans, for the fans, by the fans. This is the most interactive baseball channel for your Angels. It will be for the Ducks this October. It will be for NFL football as well. We're going to have NFL Pick'em show coming up here in the fall as well. So again, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to be happy about on this network, and because we got a lot going. However, the stuff on the field, I can't say is making us very happy. Obviously, the Angels losing today, the way they lost the series to Tampa. And again, if you haven't checked out as far as believing in this team to make the playoffs, I implore you to do so before you further hurt your feelings, because again, there is no need to think that this team is playoff caliber. Now, do they have playoff players? Yes, I believe they do. I believe that if they're all hitting on the right cylinders, yes, they do. But they're not there, whether it's pitching, whether it's timely hitting, whether it's the strikeouts. The strategy has been bad since day one, since you want to say Ron Washington, Ray Montgomery, whoever's been there has been god-awful in calling the shots. And again, you're getting bad catching from O'Hoppe. He's throwing out base runners at a 15% clip, which is absolutely terrible. And then you talk about the fact that, again, we're leading the league in strikeouts. You can't win when you don't value small ball. You can't win when you don't value walks. You don't value you don't value the hit and run, the stolen bases, all the small things, as Blink-182 would say, they don't seem to freaking care about. They don't value, and it's just the same old shit. And you're going to wonder why are we striking out so much and leaving runners in scoring position? Well, that's what happens. And right there, Jay Ball is life says 3 strikeouts in a row with the bases loaded. That can't happen. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to just that inning. So we're going to break down the game. But when it gets to the 8th inning, it gets a little bit more of a breakdown, because if you're able to say, okay, what is a microcosm of this season? Like what represents, or what memory do you have of the season, a 2025 Angels season? And I hope that some of you go back to this game and say, you know what, we might not have been in the playoff race, officially, but we were right there. That may not have ended it officially, but that was definitely a straight up dagger. Like, you can't do that. Like, there's certain moments, like whether it was like a couple years ago when Rendon got into the fight, some people said, oh, that was the highlight of the season. When Rendon stepped up there and he threw a punch, good old number 6. And then there's other guys and gals that say, oh, it was Ohtani's grand slam from a couple years before that, or Mike Trout doing this or that. and you could rest your head on that and say, okay, those are pretty cool memories, or there was maybe a no-hitter or a one-hitter the Angels got. But this season in general has been tough to watch. Christian says microcosm of the season was not selling, then losing to the White Sox. And that's after the fact, Christian, that our good old general manager said this team is competitive, very competitive. And that is a slap in the face. They either think we're really that stupid, or, because again, I got on the last interview I did on YouTube with Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, who's a California native. He's been doing radio on all the major networks the last few years, kind of retired from that, or actually 20 years. And then he retired from that. He's now doing podcasts. But with that being said, Hacksaw came out and I said, hey, man, what do you do about, were you shocked that the Angels didn't do anything? He said, well, I wouldn't have moved any of the young core. Check. That's what we all thought. He said Perry's hands were kind of tied. They had no capital. Check. We said that. Then he also said where he disagreed with, but they was not moving the Andersons, the Mancadas. And even if you're only getting a mid-level prospect or less, it's better than nothing. And so, again, check. That's what we've been saying as a network for the longest time leading up until the trade deadline. If you got to do something, you got to do the latter, which is sell. I don't care if the Angels are only 2 games back. It was going to cost him way too much. He compared the Padres to the Angels in only this way. He said that the Padres were able to sell because they have a deep farm system, and they were also able to only pay certain amount they were also able to pay some of the salary coming back from those players that they traded for, which they were eating some of this year's contract or paying the White Sox for some of their contract that they played under them or the other teams, right? So they were using that money to spend on other players, plus making the deal. So yes, they did a deal with the devil for right now. It looks good, but they're going to pay in the long run. He said for the Angels, though, it's smart to stand pat, but you should have shedded that dead weight. And to me, I'm sitting here watching Anderson get lit up early, and yes, he would get right and pitch better later, but at what cost? You've already put us behind the 8 ball 4 runs. So I'm looking at it this way. This has been a bend but don't break offense or pitching staff all year. This has been a team that has done as best as it could under the circumstances. The bullpen has outshined the pitching staff. The rotation has done as best it could with a mismatch. Guys who aren't ready yet, guys who are feeling themselves out, veterans that are over the hill. They did the best they could this year. And I think that should be the moniker of the season this year. The saying was that the Angels did the best they could, and that's about it. And if they break even at 81-81, which I don't see happening now, maybe I think what Jared Timms said the other day, 75, 77 wins might be the max. And if you go from there, you go from there. That's still a way better improvement from last year. You got some things to build on for next year, but you got some problems with O'Hoppe. That's a major red flag, and they have to fix that sooner than later, because you cannot go into next season with him with a poor throw to second base, holding runners. He's not calling a good game. He's swinging outside of his shoes. You got to fix Trout, and you got to tell Taylor Ward, that's great. You had record-setting season numbers, but man, you got to cut down those fucking strikeouts. And you got to get a competent coaching staff in here that's going to, yes, make them be more patient, but also work in some fucking small ball. Man, oh man, I've got some stuff to say about that 8th inning. So let's get it going, because before I do, I got sidetracked right there because I just want to jump into the 8th inning so fast because there's a lot to talk about. But before I do, I got to also mention this. I also got to bitch, moan, and complain the fact that we don't understand as a squad and as a fan base that it's okay to boo. It's okay to be upset. We pay for this team, whether we watch it on television, we're paying for it, or we're going to the stadium. Small ball has to be infused into this team if it's going to be a winner, because we can add free agents all we want. We can add power hitters all we want, but if we are just focused, obsessed, and sexually gratified over every home run, we are not going to go anywhere. It's proven. You have to listen, if you're not going to go heavy on the small ball, give us a balance. I want a balanced baseball team. And I'm here to say today that I'm done with Tyler Anderson. I am done. As best, last two starts, Hendricks has pitched good, but I'm done. What I want to see now is that we're over 5 games out now. So we're technically not in the wild card race anymore. And I don't see them jumping no matter what. So what I want to see is Moncada DFA'd. I want to see Anderson DFA'd. I want to see Hendricks DFA'd. And I want to bring up Clausen, Dana, and Aldegari, not as relievers, but as fucking starters to go along with Soriano Kikuchi, and let them ride it out the rest of the year. Let them get their lumps in, put Kowanowitz in the bullpen, let him work out his crap there, and let's get these pitchers into the situations where they could face major league ready hitters on the constant, day in and day out. Let them finish up the last 2 months of the season. Let them audition for next year. They got nothing to prove in the minors right now with all the teams in the minors in last place anyway. There's no playoff run for any one of those teams. So just bring them up right now. Let them work on their pitches. And you know what? I much rather, as an Angels fan, say, okay, because listen, you have to look at it this way. Anderson can give you 4 to 6 runs in 5 innings, right? Or not even make 5 innings. Let's just say Anderson's numbers were 4 2/3, 6 runs allowed on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, right? He threw 105 pitches. We've been done seeing that. We don't need to see that no more. If Aldegari gives me 5 1/3, or he gives me 4 2/3, and he gives me 4 runs on 6 hits, and the same line, I can take that because Aldegari's young as fuck. He's raw as fuck. You got Clausen raw as fuck. Kana Dana. Some of the Angel fans piss me off because they're like, Dana sucks. Bro, he hasn't had a full fucking minor league season yet, number one. And number two, you keep bringing him up as a fucking reliever. He needs to start. I would be so okay with these guys taking their lumps. And if we lose games, it doesn't matter anymore anyway. We're not in the hunt. So if we lose games, at least you're seeing, okay, Aldegari worked through that situation. Dana struggled here, but he pitched good the next week. Blah, 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 right? These guys need reps. And if we have such a skinny farm system and we're going to lose these guys at the end of the year anyway, DFA those motherfuckers now and give the kids a shot. So you already gave the kids a shot in the infield, and guess what? They're playing good. They had their lumps early, right? Christian Moore has still not gotten out of his lumps setting yet, but he's shown flashes of brilliance, right? He's going to suck sometimes, be good the others. He'll eventually get to a Neto level. I have full faith in him. But you're never going to learn if you don't do that with the pitchers either. They need their reps. They need their experience. It's time to just say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. The season is lost. Put the ego away, Artie, and let the kids play. Let the kids play. And you know what? If we finish 4th place, so fucking be it. It is what it is. We're trying to get back and have a rejuvenation. At least next year, you can say, okay, we have a little bit of a resume on these young kids, and we'll see what they could do going into 2026. Let's see if they break camp in spring training with the big ball club, or do they need more time in the minors? I'm good with that. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. If you agree, please let me know in the comments. With that being said, we're the only network that is in the stands with you. We're not locked on Cox. We actually talk baseball and we give you the real stats. We don't talk mumbo jumbo bullshit analytics, because analytics is what Locked On Cox likes, and that's what's ruining this team. That's what is it called? Analytics kills small ball. It literally does. So let's get with what happened today on the game on the field. The Angels lose 5-4. They spotted the Rays 4 runs before they decided to fight back in the 3rd inning, which meant Caminero homered into left center to make it 2-0 in the 1st inning. Fortes would homer in the 2nd inning to make it 3-0. Then Caminero would come up again, 2nd at bat, 2nd home run, 4-0. Shawnewill would single to right. Renifo would score, more to 3rd. You had those 2 men on. Trout actually came up clutch with a big 3-run homer to tie it. And then you had Maury homered in the 7th inning. Now the Angels. Angels. They're going to angel, right? Logan O'Hoppe, absolutely pathetic today. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts to hat trick. Christian Moore, 1 walk, 1 run scored, but 3 strikeouts. That's inexcusable even for a rookie. Hat trick. Tedesio had 1 hit tonight or today. Renifo and Moore, actually, no, not. Yeah, 1 hit right there. Renifo got 2 hits. Trout had 2 hits. Shonawell had a hit, and unfortunately, Zach Neto continues to struggle. He went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. 16 strikeouts. Yeah, that's not 16 strikeouts in 2 or 3 games like a normal team. I can literally go to any one of these scorecards, right? The box score. Detroit versus hold on. That game's in progress. My bad. Let me go down to when he's finished. Let's just go to a random game right now. Blue Jays, 6 strikeouts today. That's the league average. Orioles and Phillies. Orioles, 4 strikeouts today. And they lost, and they won that game. Figures. Giants had 4 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts for the Pirates. You had 11 strikeouts for the Rockies. Those teams lost today. You see a trend right there? And usually the league average is 5 to 6. In this game, the Reds lost 6-1. They struck out 12 times. Cubs struck out 4 times. If you want to win, you got to cut down the goddamn strikeouts. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen for the Angels. Tigers lost to the Twins. Twins struck out 4 times. Tigers struck out 7. The reason why I bring that up, ladies and gentlemen, you have to put the ball in play. The more you put it in play, the better things happen, the better chances of you scoring are. And again, I'm not like dumbass Locked On Cox who needs to say, hey, it's got to be the exit velocity and it's the launch angle. No, dude, the launch angle and exit velocity is so stupid. Again, it has ruined baseball because, again, you're so focused on hitting the ball so goddamn hard, you absolutely forget what the situation is. Instead of playing small ball, surprising them with a drag bunt, hitting the ball to the outfield to at least tie the ball game. You can't do that. Because why were the Angels? 16 strikeouts. And Liz says, why are you talking about the Angels like you know what you're even saying? Because I played baseball. Have you? Did you play minor league baseball? I have a lot of friends that just retired from baseball. So, yeah, I kind of know baseball. And I know that we have people on the inside that say analytics have taken over this franchise. Because it has. And they don't play small ball. And if you know anything about baseball, it's Sean, you would know that Mike Scioscia had this team rolling for about 20 years basically on small ball and doing all the right things, playing good, solid defense and getting good pitching. However, the Angels don't have any of that. And because of analytics and cheap arty, we are where we are. And it's frustrating as an Angel fan because now we get into the 8th inning with a score of 5-4 Tampa Bay. And I'll give you exactly what happened in that 8th inning. So basically in the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th, Angels have a chance in front of 10 fans at the stands. As Taylor Ward would reach on a single to the shortstop, getting it through right there. Actually Trout did. Ward would walk. You have 2 men on. Then Adele would reach on a catcher's interference. So again, the Angels are gifted 2 out of 3 at bats right there. So it's not like they worked for it. They were gifted 2 extra base runners to load the bases. So bases loaded, nobody out. O'Hoppy's already up there with 2 strikeouts. And he strikes out. And again, if you listen to Wayne Randazzo, and I know this isn't at all Mark Gubicza's true feelings, because Mark Gubicza knows about small ball. If you ever Googled or watched his career in the 80s, the Kansas City Royals weren't known for bashers. They only had George Brett, but they had a bunch of other guys who were speedsters, meaning they had to work for their runs, especially on that AstroTurf they used to play at Kauffman Stadium. My thing is this. Gubicza used to say that there's not, what is it called? That there's always a productive out. You can make an out productive, but you can't make a strikeout productive. And I think everybody knows that. Yet this bullshit fandom that's going around that loves the analytics will sit there and say, oh, strikeouts aren't that bad. Again, if you ask any old timer, if you ask anybody from just 10 years ago, they're like strikeouts are a rejection on or just a bad. That's not what you want to be known for because it's pride. It's pride. You got to have pride in what you do. And if it's just like, walk back to the bench, you struck out. No, you got to put the ball in play. There's always room for a productive out. Now, yes, do you want a double play right there? No. But if you told me they were going to have the bases loaded and nobody out, and maybe O'Hoppe rolls into a 6-4-3 double play, well, I'd tell you, well, at least we tied the game right there, and we had the go-ahead runner at third with a chance to take the lead. And if Renifo had struck out like he did, well, then, hey, we still had a chance, and we're tied, and we have a chance if we get Jansen in there in the ninth. We force it to the bottom of the ninth inning. If we can't score there, we're in extras. You see how that works? So even on a dumbass double play, we're playing for another inning or two. However, if you strike out 3 straight times or you pop out and you can't get anything into the outfield, well, then you're fucked. And what happened? We're fucked. Because that's what happens. If you don't take care of baseball, you mean to tell me that these pitchers are going to sit there and throw the same kind of pitches and take the same kind of approach once the bases are loaded? They're either going to do one of two things. They're going to lose their shit and get wild, and all you got to do is get patient, and then they either leave a cookie over the plate and you go with it, or they walk your ass. However, if you're up there helping them, they either bear down and they say, okay, I'm going to throw my best shit at you. You got to work for it. Then you got to adjust to them. It's a cat and mouse game. It's a game of adjustments, but somebody has never told the Angels that. We always seem to think, okay, analytics, just hit it as hard as you fucking can. Why do you think Taylor Ward the other day swung at 3-0? He's trying to hit it as far as he fucking can, but he has nowhere of an idea where that ball is going to go. If you want to swing away, that's fine, but you can't swing away when they're trying to bust you in on the inside corner of the plate. You're just going to pop out, or you're going to hit a weak ground ball, or you're going to strike out. So to go the other way, the pitch has got to be on the outside corner of the plate, or you got to swing really late and make sure you time it right. I used to do that all the time. Now, if you're trying to pull the ball, you better make sure that shit's on the inner part of the plate. Else, you're going to roll over it, or you're going to strike out, or you're going to pop out. I did that a lot too. It's a cat and mouse game. If you don't have the guys prepared, they will give you what they gave you today and what they've given you all season, over 11,000 strikeouts, or 1,100 strikeouts, excuse me. They've given you 1,100 strikeouts. That's what they're going to give you. They're going to average 10 a night. This team's not focused. They're not trained. They don't do their homework, and it shows. 3 strikeouts. Now, if you want to tell me if this happened in early April, I'd say, okay, baseball's just like football. You know how many guys in September football, in the NFL, take a while to get going offensively? Usually the defenses always have the upper hand. They seem to be more ready coming out of training camp. When it comes to baseball, the pitchers always have the advantage in April. It's usually the hitters that come out very slow. I mean, look at the past Angels players like Tim Salmon, notorious slow starter in April. Always, right? Always. But he would get it going in May and all that other stuff, right? That's what usually would happen. Hell, even Garrett Anderson was a slow starter. That shit just happens. But it's in a game of adjustments. If you are a true player, you get yourself together, you keep working on yourself, and there you go. But today's loss, I mean, again, if any of you were holding on hope at all that this team was going to make a change and they were going to make a run in the final 52 games, you're sadly mistaken, and I apologize. And I want to tell you this. I'm sorry that you believe in this Artie Moreno-led team, number one. I'm sorry that they continue to disappoint you. And those aren't cheap shots. It's not me being sarcastic, because I'm very very sorry, because I'm a big Angel fan just like you. We are fans in the stands with you. We go to games, unlike the other shitty podcasts. We go to games and we're there and we cheer and we boo just like everybody else. We boo when they deserve it, when we cheer when they deserve it. We have a good time when it's a good time. I don't need all that jazzy shit to get me excited to come to games and giveaways. I just want to see a winner. I'm just like you. I want to see this team get to the next level. I want to see them make improvements. Now, you can say there's been individual improvements. You can say there's been bullpen improvements. But again, a lot of guys are on one-year deals. The young guys are just now coming up. There's some things to look forward to next season, but are we going to go out there and just get the same stupid shit where it's one-year rentals? Are we just going to get aging veterans? Are we not going to be real players in the free agent market? All that needs to be addressed as we move on. But like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, to me, it comes down to this. Let the young kids play. Bring up Aldegari, bring up Canadena, bring up Clausen. All those teams in the minor leagues are dead last. They've got nothing to prove. There's no minor league playoffs. Bring up the kids. Let them get their lumps. I don't want to see Anderson anymore. I don't want to see Hendricks anymore. DFA their asses. DFA Moncada. Let's bring up all the kids. I want to see Kai Boom up here. Everybody, let's bring up the kids. Let them play. And I rather see this team take their losses and take their lumps and then see the flashes of brilliance and say, okay, at that point, let's do it. You know, let's see who's ready to play in the final 2 months of the season. Let's see these young kids get hungry so that they can, you know, interview for next year. Let's interview for next year. And the best way to interview is to have them use their resume on the field in live action. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with running the same lineup out there and trying to tell the fans, hey, we still have a chance. We don't have a chance. There's too many teams ahead of us. Even if we go on a 3-4 game winning streak, we got to look out for 6 other teams at least. And do we really have the horses to do this? Can you really trust a team that doesn't trust small ball? Can you really trust a team that does not, that strikes out as much as we do? And especially in clutch situations? And can we really trust a team that does not value adjustments? Like, it's like, okay, you know, that team adjusted to us. They switched their defense. They switched the way they're pitching. They switched their pitcher. Let's just keep the same thing. Let's just keep rolling along. That chapped my ass when Ron Washington said that earlier in the year. When they asked him about the Angels' struggles, and he said, well, you know, I think this team's gonna keep plugging away. You got to keep plugging away, and they're gonna eventually find out that what we're trying to preach here is gonna work. And you know, you got to keep doing the stuff, and then if you do the right stuff, you put in the time, you're gonna get it going. No, because what you were selling, they weren't buying. And even if they're buying it, it's shit. I mean, every other team has been like, well, you know what? Give it 30, 40 games. If it doesn't work, let's switch it up. Nope. The Angels are like, let's keep rolling with it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the awards today. There's nothing to give away for the Angels, obviously. Shocker. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the awards to the best player and worst player on the field, and then we'll get into all your comments. Best player on the field is the Golden Stamos Award because John Stamos is the love child. Well, not the love child. He's the wannabe lover of Mr. Roger Lodge, the Golden Stamos. If you had your money on Junior Caminero for your player of the game, well, there it is. He's the Golden Stamos winner. He had 2 home runs today. That was the difference in the game today. So big 2 home run game for him. Now let's see who gets the Nacho Night.
For the worst performance of the night. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take
That's some pretty disgusting nachos, but I will say this. The Nacho Night Award goes to Logan O'Hoppy. Bro, you have played yourself. And we are trying to pump up your bowling event on September 7th. That's gonna be hard to get the tickets for that, man, or sold for that, as we have two bowling teams that are gonna be part of that tournament. And I got to shit on you right now, Hoppy, because man, your swing is so bad defensively. You can't throw out anybody right now, and you're not calling a good game. Most of the pitchers, whether they're AAA pitchers or not, most of our pitchers are freaking preferring to pitch to Sam Darno. And that should tell you something. Right now, you should be picking the brain of Sam Darno every game, learning the little things that he does. Man, oh man, I know you got it in you, Logan. I know you do. I know you're a hell of a hitter, but you got to get behind that plate and call a good game, else they're going to find another position for you. And I don't want to do that. And man, I really, you know, are we going to bring back Darno next year? Because I'm telling you what, you're playing yourself off this team for real, and you're playing yourself to the bench. Number one, that's sad because he has the talent to be very, very legit. I see O'Hoppy still a top of 10 catcher in the league. In the American League, I think some guys in the National League have kicked him out if you combine both leagues. Real quick, my man Mateo says, well, it's Spritz o'clock.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, like I said, I love comments on here. I go back and forth. I have no issues having a discussion. I have no issues with takes because sometimes you guys are right and I'm wrong, and vice versa, and we have a conversation going back. But do not misquote me. I just got done saying, hey, it's going to be hard time promoting Logan O'Hoppy's bowling event September 7th. I said he's one of the best catchers out there. But I call a spade a spade. And if Angel fans can't take that, then unfortunately, I don't know what to say, man. That's just your opinion that I'm shitting on him. I'm not. Do I want him to be better than a 15% throwing out base runners rate? Yes. Does he have to bat higher than 260? Hell yeah. He's a 280 hitter at worst. He should be up close to 300. He's not. Tell me where he's doing good, and let's hear your side of the argument, because I'm not shitting on him. I'm just calling it what it is right now. Right now, he's playing himself off the team or to the bench, out of the starting lineup, I should say. And I want to see him better. I want to see him do better. What do you think about Trout watching every 95? Well, I've just been as hard on O'Hoppy as I am Trout, because Trout, the same thing. If you've been a follower of this channel at all, we shit on Trout all the time. I love the guy. Do I want him to succeed? He's an Angels Hall of Famer. Yes. Would I've loved to see him in playoff runs with the Angels? Absolutely. It hasn't come to be because of one man, Artie Moreno, and his dictatorship. But if he were to move on to anywhere else but the Dodgers, I've said it 100 times, I'd root for him because I want him to win. If you're going to, okay, even in his MVP years, bro, I will tell you this about Mike Trout. I can't stand how he hasn't caught up to a fastball. He needs to shed more weight. He needs to drop his shoulder a little bit more, and he needs to shorten up his swing, and the home runs will come naturally. The hits will come naturally, and the walks will come naturally. Right now, he's getting burned by everybody. What power hitter do you know that used to be scared of, that you're like, hey, man, I'm going to try to blow a fastball? Usually that's the last pitch in your repertoire, unless that's your only pitch. Usually every pitcher approaches a power hitter, a legendary hitter, with their best curve breaking ball stuff. They don't try to go with fastball, but they try to go with fastball with Trout because he's so far behind. And he needs to hurry up that swing and he needs to change his swing. He's got too much lift in his leg. He pulls back on his shoulder. It's not good, dude. He's raring up and firing. If he just shortens up his swing like we've seen him do a couple times this year, he's a much better hitter. But I will just say this. I do want to build around O'Hoppe. And like you said, Neto, Adele, Shonowell, Moore, Paris even. I think Paris will get it going. I just want Mike Trout to be in a better spot. It would help us out. I know the loyalty thing is there, but the one thing I've always shitted on him about is that he's not a leader at all. Never has been, never will be. And if he was really a leader, he would have helped some of these guys mature a few years ago. And if he was really a leader, he would have gotten himself off this team a few years after signing that contract. He would have said, hey, man, trade me. I want to win. I want to win. He's never done that. So, again, with that being said, I love all the Angels players, man. But I will call a spade a spade. And Trout's been struggling. O'Hoppe's been struggling. I'm not a big fan of Taylor Ward, even though he hits home runs and stuff like that. He doesn't work walks. He struck out already 136 times this year. So, again, Shane Bieber, we should have traded for him 2 years ago. Should have got him this year. And maybe we'll get him next year. But in my fears, it'll be a little too late, like everything. Tendenzio is that type of player. The small ball, yes. Lugo, too, if he can get going. And, see, I'm right there with you. See, that's why I like having conversations, my man. His prime is gone. Ward can go with him. I'm 100%. I'm right there with you. Let's get to the comments over here on YouTube, and I'll go back and forth. Robert checks in with, well, another season bites the dust. One more year of that number 6 contract. Eric Ward says this season definitely doesn't start tonight. Not much left at this point, but to bring up the young kids and let them play. That's why I said about the pitchers too, man. Because otherwise, I mean, we're stuck with a lot of nothing, dude. You got to bring up these young kids, let them get in there, let them get the taste of the major leagues right now, because there's not a lot of baseball left to be played. And no, the season doesn't start tonight.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Big Red says, sad that Southern California lost versus Northern California Little League game right now, or watching it now is much more exciting than the Angels. Utah versus Nevada next. Eric says, I think the 2025 baseball season have laid the foundation for some promising baseball in the next few years. This young core could be special. Rally Chris says the Angels signed Cavan Biggio. That's not a big deal. Hopefully Artie is gone this season. I hope so too, my man, Corey. If we stay within 4 to 5 games under and stay competitive through the end of the year, I think we can all say that's progress towards 26. Also, Woodrow says he stopped caring about ball when he had his first kid. Kids change a man. That's with respect. It's true. And that's what happened to me too. But I didn't take it that far. I just gave up on baseball. He gave up on hitting. Strange says it's sad to say, but we've become musical chairs. We have. Rally Chris says the Tigers and Dodgers, knowing the Angels, we will not get by the Tigers and Dodgers. They will roll us out of the stadium. Spritz my dick tonight. Andrew says Tendencio has a sick-ass diving catch. What do you think about him? I do like what they're getting out of him. He's keeping himself on the roster for sure. And do you think that we should send O'Hoppe down to Salt Lake? I don't know what he can learn down there, to be honest with you, other than to just try to fix his ego. Also didn't realize how Taylor Ward doesn't interact with fans down the left field, and he is very douchey. Yes, Jose. Here's the thing I will say to that, Jose, and you bring up a great point. Not only does he not interact with the fans, but you see our bullpen pitchers that come out. I'm very, I sit in 260 and I see these guys every game, and I get very annoyed that the road team comes out there. Angel fans or not, they slap hands with the kids. They'll toss a ball to the kids. They say hi to the kids. What do our fucking players do? Head down, walk out, or run onto the field. Don't even put their hand out at all. Don't say hi to the kids. Nothing. That gets under my skin, because I will say this, being a minor leaguer and not making the bigs, I would have given my left nut to be able to high five people in the stands and sign autographs. That's a fucking privilege. That people know you, that people come to see you, that people want to see you play. People want to get your autograph. People want to just say, hey, man, look, I took a selfie with so-and-so. Hey, man, look at this. He said hi to my kid. Man, that's such a privilege, and these assholes take it for granted. And I will say that. I'm not going to call out certain players, but man, that just, man, it pisses me off because they don't know how privileged they really are to be in that position, to have that kind of respect from people that don't know you from nothing. And yes, you're going to have your assholes that treat you like crap. They may say something, but those kind of people are few and far between. Most of the time, even the road teams outside of New York and maybe Dodger Stadium, their fans are pretty legit. So that always rubs me the wrong way. You kind of got me off on a tangent right there, Jose, but I'm 100% behind you. Yeah, Brian Wu, we threw me a ball in section 308. Do we keep Jansen next year? I think he wants to stay, Joseph. Herman says, I remember Randy Rosarina was always so cool with the Tampa Bay Rays. He would engage the Angel fans. Well, Herman, I saw him in the Texas series. He threw 2 to 3 balls every inning into the stands, and he was high-fiving kids and saying hi to others. The guy is so cool. He is really cool. I'm glad you brought that up. Randy Rosarina is really cool. Tyler says, my man, Danzer Guzman is gunning for that third baseman spot. I think so. Don't forget Philly loving fans. Oh, that's right. Philly fans are assholes too. Doesn't matter who it is, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, basketball, they're all a-holes. Andrew says, I saw a tweet on Bryce that said his defense is on the same level as a PCA without the power, which is great. There's one leak after another leak in the problems at Angel Stadium. Yeah, Angel Stadium is falling apart. The team is setting up for 2026 with a striking out lineup, a shaky bullpen, and crappy rotation. What is there to be looking forward to? I love the game, but hate the direction of this team. Well, I mean, I would like to see a direction first. I don't even think we have one.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Blood Moon says, bases loaded, nobody out, can't score at least one run to tie. Pathetic performance. Again, double play would have tied the game. Junkyard says Trout was clutch, nobody else came through. He did hit a big 3-run homer. Also pathetic. The team can't even score with the bases loaded. How is that possible? Strange says the art of bunting has completely expired with this team. And it is true because, again, you get a drag bunt there. There could be all kinds of crazy plays. The pitcher has to field it, throws wild to home. You don't even get an out. You score a run. Baseball is over. EQ says they were on the 5-yard line 3 times, Todd. Yep. Don Hammond says, why on earth did we not lay down a bunt with the bases loaded and nobody out? I don't get it. Infield was playing back as well. And already said he's not spending next year as well. Tony C says, we don't know how to bunt any longer. This team is sad. Trout comes through for us to tie the game up at least. That sums up the season. The Angels are screwed. We will finish 15 games under. Let's see. He's so shit, Morel. Also, yeah, we got the spritzer clock. You get credit for that. And then Mateo wants to know that he's fat.
This fat son of a bitch is going to drown us all out.
Just calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
Also, in loving memory of the Angels 2025 season, Josh says Logan O'Hoppe is trash. Sam Darno, you mean Travis Darno. There you go. I'm thinking football. Logan O'Hoppe is the Nico Cavadas. Brandon says Darno is on a 2-year deal. See, I thought he was on a 1-year. Thank you right there. I forgot about that. So that's a 2-year deal. Well, looks like he'll be starting next year. EQ says we want him to do better, but we are allowed to say he sucks. Absolutely. Josh says O'Hoppe should stick to bowling. He's great at getting strikes. That's perfect. Real recognize real Todd. Only real competitive people shit on people to make them better because we know they can do so much better. Exactly. Demetrio says Heart of the Order has been batting .225 all year, and people thought we'd be a wild card team. Pathetic. Exactly. Tyler says next is Scooble after a day off. We're done. Yeah, exactly. And again, can we win before a day off? Hell no. Art of bunting has expired in the majors. My Reds have no idea how to bunt. Now, see, that sucks too. It's all that analytic bullshit. It's all bullshit. What happened to O'Hoppe? I got 2 wieners, says. I love some of these handles, man. They're great. I got 2 wieners, says, what happened to O'Hoppe? He's trying to hit a home run every time. Every time. Danzer Guzman is looking pretty nice in AAA so far. He thinks he's getting called up this season. I say bring them all up. Bring them all up. Angels had a nice tasty nut for their own today. Yeah, Gavin was bitching and moaning from what I heard today, so he was all about the yummy tasting nut.
On everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut? I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
That guy's so yummy, I guess. Into those nuts. It's terrible, that guy. Anyway, let's see. Two Wieners says you strike out 10 times a game ain't gonna go well. Exactly. And again, this team has 1,100 strikeouts. 1,100 strikeouts, and they wonder why they suck. They're leading the league. That no productive outs. It's all or nothing. All or nothing. You don't sprinkle in some freaking small ball, you're gonna lose. And Jose, I appreciate you as well. And thank you so much for the compliment right there. Hopefully Patrick soon showing from LA Times owner buys the Angels. He would get in the mix if they were to be sold. B-Train says bases loaded, no outs, 3 straight strikeouts. Fucking pathetic. Andrew says, what do you think about the 2024 season? And do you think that season is worse than last year or this season? I think this season's definitely an improvement. It's not worse than last year, but definitely doesn't. It could end a lot better if they get to 500. If they don't, it's still a success, but it still sucks in the end. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, just like those nuts that are always in Gavin's mouth. So yeah, we do suck again, Mateo.
Oh no, we suck again.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful. How terrible! Oh no!
Dead says use the Papa Fox voice. So here's my dad saying this. I do not like this Zephyr John guy. If they bring in Zephyr John, we're in big trouble. That's how my dad talks. He likes to start very slow and very calm, and then he just goes into this rage. I mean, he is the character from Fairly Odd Parents, the teacher. He just doesn't do the weird thing with his motions and float in the air like the character from the cartoon, but he does do that with his voice. My dad is pretty funny when he gets riled up. Let's see. Strange says, I sit in section 105. I'm blind, and so is my chick. Laugh out loud. And Ward is a total douche, ignores everyone, and Arozarena is so cool for always interacting with fans. He is. Strange 26, let me know when you're at a game again, dude. Message me. I'll come by and say hi and give you a little something, man. Maybe for you and your girl. Give you guys a shirt or a hat or something like that. Rally Chris says, since we are playing the Tigers in Detroit on Friday this weekend, we're going to hear Matty V and Gooby, which is at least nice. What is Roger Lodge saying to James? Well, James, we still have a chance. We are not mathematically eliminated. And then the girl who's running the board's like, James died like 5 years ago. James, stop with the talking back and play the replay of the 3-run homer of Mike Nelson Trout. That kid is going to be amazing one day. You just watch. You heard it first here on the Sports Lodge. This is going to be a great player someday, Mike Nelson Trout. Remember that. And then James, clip this right here for when Trout makes it to his first All-Star game. Shane says, okay, I was wrong. Again, the season starts on Friday. I think that's the running joke. I think that the end of the year, I didn't get a chance to do it because I was working, but I'm going to do it for sure. God damn it, this year. On the last game of the season, I'm going to call the Sports Lodge with Roger Lodge. And I'm gonna say, do we have a chance? And then I'm gonna play this in the background.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
So there you go. Do a Trent Rush impersonation. I'll do hey, this Brewery X on Sunday is going to be a great event. We're going to see the Angels. They're going to be on the road in Detroit, but I will be doing the post-game show there after I get my OG's pizza. And I'll be saying hi to all the people right there and scaring them because I talk really, really in your face. Yeah, that's Trent Rush right there, dude. That guy hates me, and I love it. I love the fact that he knows me. That is a feather in my cap. I love the fact that I've annoyed that guy so much. I've given him emotional damage. He won't even say hi to me.
Emotional damage.
Misa says, good fight, Angels. Yeah, good fight indeed. 16 strikeouts. That is a season high 16 strikeouts. 16 of your 27 outs, you whiff. That is unbelievable. We have Walbert Arena, younger brother of Jose Urena. He's a better option than Kowanowitz and Tyler Anderson. Again, that's why I say youth movement. They got nothing to play for in the minors. Bring them up, let them get their lumps, let them start. Same thing with Johnson. They're rushing Johnson through the minors. So we could see Johnson in September. And I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind him being up here pitching with Aldegari, Clausen, and the other guys. Some say, you're starting their clock too early. You already did on Aldegari and Kanan. You might as well on these other kids as well. And you might as well give these guys actual starts instead of saying, hey, you need to fluff this team and you need to fluff them for just 3 or 4 innings. Be a long man. Give up 4 to 6 runs. Do something outside your comfort zone. It's one thing to ask one of these rookies to do something outside their comfort zone in the minors. It's another to ask them do it under the big lights of the major leagues. That's kind of stupid. But then again, if it's stupid, the Angels are like, yeah! Also, Andrew says 2 more months until Lisp having to fucking fuck her out gets outfielded or audited. I misread that. I'm sorry. 2 more months until that Lisp having fucker gets audited. Yes, Andrew. That's what we're all waiting for. We're waiting for the time that Artie Moreno and his unfinished business gets audited by the city. So, translation, we're waiting 2 months till Artie Moreno gets audited by the city. And once he does, boy, oh boy, even if it's the minimum at $300 to $500 million, he is going to cry his ass off. You want to talk about, I know in this politically correct world, people don't like to call people a bitch and stuff like that. And they don't want to like refer to it because it's, denigrating to females. I get it. And, you don't want to go race, obviously, nothing like that. But Artie Moreno is Artie Moreno, and he's been an asshole for quite some time. And he will cry like a bitch. And I, for one, wish that I was a fly on the wall to see it, because he will find a bunker somewhere and cry his ass off to his lawyers and to all his people that run his money, because he is just waiting for the judgment to come down and praying that it isn't a lot. And he's praying that he could get some sort of counter deal to where they can offer him the land and he could write it off. Like, say, for instance, they say, okay, Artie, you can have all that land for as much as it costs for the retrofit. That would be a loss to Angel fans, because then he gets punished zero. He basically gets the land for what he didn't want to pay that much for it, but because there wasn't a shady deal like what got the former mayor arrested by the FBI, this new deal would be about where between $400 and $500 million for all that land. So he would wind up actually paying what it's worth, but not really. I mean, that land's probably worth a lot more than that, but he'll get that land. And then he'll say, well, you give me that land, I'll give you the money. The city can do whatever it wants with it. And then the city's going to be like, okay, when we give you that land, you got to pay a higher lease to us. We now own that stadium again. But see, even then, I don't see that happening, because he wants his greedy, grimy hands all over that stadium and the land. He's not looking to settle or to compromise. So in my opinion, it's not going to go down like that. It's not going to be an even swap. He's going to want the parking lot, the surrounding land, the big piece of the OC Vibe Part 2 and 3, and he's going to want that stadium all rolled up into one. So I think the stadium and league officials, the city, and everybody else should stick it right up his grimy ass and get him for everything. Be like, hey, man, you need to retrofit the fucking thing from the ground up, from the foundation up. You need to make sure that's got this, it's got that. Again, anybody that's walked through that stadium, walk through, I want to say the end of the 200 level before you get to that right field divider between that and the pavilion. Look how dangerous those stairs are. And look how dangerous the stairs are from the 200 level walking into the 100 level on any one of those stairs. Again, how people aren't cracking their ankles, falling down. I know there's probably some incidences, but there should be a lot more. I mean, that stadium's a walking hazard. You have drainage holes in the very middle of the concrete walking from my section 260 to Chronic Tacos, where I almost twisted my ankle because there's an actual dip. Like, it's not solid. It's not like, I don't understand it, man. I mean, and that place is a walking hazard all over the place. It is not safe. Like, that stadium needs to clearly be retrofitted. There's leaks like Corey's been bringing up. We brought it up last year in the club level. There was massive leaks, toilets overflowing. The plumbing is bad. I mean, you're talking, I don't see how it could be 300 to 500 million. To be honest with you, I could see how it could be at least $1 billion, at least. It's got to be. And if it's $1 billion and over, he's got to be selling, dude. That dickwad is not ready to put that much money into that stadium. Tamir 20 says, good thing I went to the beach today over watching this pathetic team. You made the right call, Tamir 20. Don says Clausen isn't ready at all. Needs maybe another year in the minors. He got hit hard today in AA, but Aldegari and Dana might be September call-ups. Well, I'm good with that too, Don. Just think about it, Don. Getting rid of Anderson and getting rid of Hendricks and just letting them go at it. I don't think you should keep Hendricks as a long reliever. I think you should have him as a or you should have in that spot Kowanowitz. Did you see Sam Blum tweeted earlier that post about the Angels media room started leaking? Yes, we talked about that earlier. Also, do we cue the sad song? No. Why is Artie going to be in trouble for Skaggs' liability or what? No, liability went to the guy who sold him drugs, but they are going for financial compensation. So Skaggs is in a civil. His mother and family are in a civil lawsuit versus Artie Moreno, and that civil lawsuit is going to go to jury here very soon. That's going to be a case that could be anywhere from 2 to 3 days at max. So we'll know the results in that pretty quickly once they go to trial. And I think that has an October date, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's not in December. It could be November, but I do know it's this fall and before wintertime. So we'll know how. And the only problem is if my guess is Artie will not settle because he would have already settled. So I'm pretty sure we'll know the amount that he will be liable to pay out civilly. But there's a chance he could settle. But I doubt it, though. I mean, he would have settled already, and you would think he's dragged this civil case through court with delays for 2 years. He could have settled this shit 2 years ago. So there's a reason why you go into Angel Stadium. My friend put a Skaggs jersey on one of the overhangs, and they told him to take it down. Remember, he used to have a 45 in the intro and all that stuff? They took that out. And the most disrespectful shit this organization did, and it's due because of Artie, they took out the Aiden Hart. And I know Aiden Hart died years ago, but you still got to show him because that was tragic as fuck. And a lot of us fans still remember that. So you don't even have a tribute to those two guys. And that's bullshit. And that, again, is an Artie Moreno call. Also, how do we hey, maybe if he fixes from the ground up, then maybe we'll start investing in players. He'd have to at that point. Also, can we get Rendon to help with the stadium rebuild? Well, he's free right now. He's got a lot of time on his hand. No bat signal for Artie or Terry. They're on the road today. So, yeah, they did take him down. There's nothing up there of those guys anymore. Artie is not settling, knowing how much of a piece of shit he is. Artie is going to appeal any amount of money. And again, he is going to appeal that. You're absolutely right. But this time, again, if it is brought up in court and he's found responsible civilly and financially, well, then yes, he will have to pay, and he will be put on a timeline because he has literally lost the case as far as the team and stuff like that. What about John Carpino? Haven't heard from him. Sounds like he's one of Artie Moreno's cronies. Well, Andrew, he's not only a crony. He is one of his best friends. I ain't lying. That dude is one of his best friends. So there is a rumor, and I don't like it. If Artie Moreno were to pass away, his family wants nothing to do with the team, meaning Artie Moreno's. Carpino could be your new owner and just take over where Artie left off. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will, because that scares me. Blaming Tyler Anderson and Artie for everything, screwing them both over. Isaiah says season's over. Well, and that's probably the night for me too, because I'm going to get going. This game ended earlier, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals that hopped on to get on here for the lives. We got more lives coming. And I will just say this. He says hated both for years. Well, that's both of us right there. I never liked that Tyler Anderson signing, Rob. Here's the thing before we get out of here. We have, like I said, big news. Ducks hockey is coming here with post games and other stuff and podcasts coming here this fall. And we've also got the NFL. The NFL, we will be doing 1 to 2 shows a week. We haven't decided yet whether it's just going to be a recap and a prediction on the other, or if it's going to be all in one. Most likely all in one. So you will get your football fix if you choose to, and we hope you do come along for that. We hope you do come along for Ducks hockey. And even if you're a Kings fan like Ruben, maybe you jump on here when the Kings play the Ducks. So that would be cool, because I think that's one of the opener for the Ducks this year. It's either at the Honda Center or if it's at Crypto. I don't know yet. But thank you, Ruben. That's a true fan right there, jumping in for hockey that's not even his team. So we appreciate you. But yeah, we have football and we have hockey to go, and we're going to play out the season. We're not going to give up on the Angels. We'll cover every game to the last game of the season, because that's what we do over here on the Halos in the Infield network. And keep following us wherever you do. Check out our podcast. Share us wherever you can. It really, 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 really helps. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your evening tonight and have a day off, decompress from the Angels, and let's get them on the what is it? The Dodgers series. Crazy, we're playing the Dodgers again. Ruben says, remember the season starts Friday. Oh, that's right. Let me someone had something to say about that.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Andrew says, what do you guys do when the season is over? Angels season is over. Well, that's what we're going to do this year is hockey. We usually would preview the playoffs and just do hockey or baseball playoffs into the World Series, and then just do like interviews in the off season, because we always get a lot of interviews in the off season. But no, we're gonna keep up with it, and then we're gonna follow the playoffs. Maybe do a watch party on an interesting series if there's like a Game 7 or a Game 5, something like that. We'll do something like that in the postseason or in the World Series. We'll do a watch party from Bruheim. Hopefully you guys gals can come down there. That'd be pretty cool. Strange says, be at the stadium on the 22nd. I'll be there, and message me, man, and I'll bring something for you and your girl. How about that, man? Appreciate you guys. And again, if you guys want to come say hi to me, I'm always at 260. Not sure about the Dodgers series. Those tickets are going like fire right now. And apparently people have been hitting me up for my tickets. So I might just let them go to the highest bidder right now, because they're Dodger fans anyway. And I don't like doing that, but fuck, man, the way they're playing right now. And I freaking hate Ohtani, dude. I can't stand the guy right now. So it's a hard watch. It's not like I'm not going to do the games or nothing, but I might get in there with some other seats I've been offered to. So I might just sell mine, but then go to the other section or whatever. So it is what it is. But we'll see you guys on Friday after the Detroit game and Detroit series. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Angels lose, Angels lose. This guy wants to laugh about it.
You serious?
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!